all of them, Mascherano, you crown it up with Messi. It's not going to be an easy task. It's not going to be an easy load for Nigeria to carry.
Close. The last time we played them at the World Cup was close.
Yes, it would always be close.
Messi was scoring, Ahmed Musa was scoring.
This is true. Kayode, this is true. It's always going to be close because we are strong. Even if we play Brazil, it's surely going to be close. But the edge would always be there because when you're talking about two teams, you understand me? Every technical and tactical team, a very, very competitive team must be lined up on two factors: individuality and the group dynamics. On the area of possessing the ball, you can see what happened with our the match we played against them. They were a lot better until we came in the second half with the Nigerian national characteristics of never say die till the very end. We were able to get all these goals from Kelechi and Iwobi. You understand? And they were surprised that they lost at the end of the day when in the first half alone they created close to like about 5 to 6 chances.
They will have that in mind.
They will have this in mind, and having this in mind will make our match much more competitive. But having said this, the most important for us is to be able to beat our two matches first, or win one, draw one, and be waiting for Argentina.
Like Unduka said, you can't take for granted. They are one of the best teams ever in World Cup history. At least you were part of that team.
Yes, but I never went to the World Cup. I was surprised. I was crying. Cried. Not going to the World Cup. But it's quite interesting.
But seriously, I know time is not a friend, but describe that moment. Describe that moment when you were told, sorry, Nduka, you are not part of this team to the World Cup. That
I was sleeping and I dreamt that I was in a tug of war. You understand me? With ordinary pints. You know, we were pulling and they were pulling. A lot of people there and myself with some few people. You know, I was pulling and I held on seriously. Then suddenly I looked at my feet. I found out that I'm on a red earth, you know, with water. When suddenly they pulled me and I just fell to the other side. Just about some 2-3 minutes later, they came to call me. Jobonfrey said that Wester wanted to see me, and I went to the room. I met Fuludu and Edema Fuludu, Montaigne, and one or two other persons there. When they said he started talking to them already. Then suddenly he told me that he's finished. When they left, I said I saw my canvas, my bats, my every other thing there, that the seal pass and everything. He said it was finished. I was confused, very, very confused. Because I couldn't believe that it could come to an end like that, what we planned for years on ending. I didn't believe it.
So nothing prepared you for the fact that you would not go to that one?
Nothing prepared me for that, and I never knew. But the coaches would have to select, and they did this, and I was broken. Kayode, I was shattered.
I'm sure you've got over that, definitely.
Oh, a lot of more World Cups have been played since then.
Let's now move fast. Our time is fast spent. When it comes to the FIFA World Cup, a lot happens. A lot happens. Some of the referees actually get things wrong, and we're going to show you examples now. Argentina versus England in 1986, of course, Diego Armando Maradona, the hand of God. Cameroon, Peru, 1990. Of course, Roger Milla scored this goal, which you are going to see that was very, very clean goal normally, but it was disallowed. Of course, Brazil, Sweden, 1978. Zico, Otto, Antunes, Coimbra, an amazing player. There was the last kick of the ball. The last kick, a corner kick, and he scored, and the referee Clapton said it was not a clean goal. These are the games. Cherish them, because when it comes to the referees, anything can happen.
Remembered as the man who failed to spot Diego's handiwork. So, what do you do when someone points the finger of blame at you? Well, you pointed at someone else, of course. In this case, at his Bulgarian assistant.
My assistant indicated to me that there was no foul play, so I was obliged to give the goal.
Maradona, ambidextrous, came 4 years later. Maradona with his right hand this time to deny the Soviets. Argentina won the game and qualified ahead of, you've guessed it, Brazil hasn't always had the run of the refereeing decisions. At the 78 finals, Welsh ref Clive Thomas blew for time just as Zico headed in from a corner. Thomas denied Zico the goal. The game finished 1-1 and it cost Brazil top spot in their group. It could have been a totally different story.
Okay, I'm sure you saw those. There's no way you disagree with me that those were wrong calls, very, very wrong calls, especially that hand of God goal, Diego Armando Maradona. He got away with it. We are asking Jean Barnes, one of the best players to have come from the English national team, an amazing human being too. We sat him down and asked him what happened exactly. He was on the bench and he came in later to cross the ball that Gary Lineker scored eventually, and he did it twice. What exactly happened? I mean, with that decision for Maradona, and John Barnes says that Maradona definitely, clearly was still the best player in spite of that, though Maradona did another one of that. You know, so I'm going to see everything now. Diego Armando Maradona, hand of God goals.
On the bench at the time, and we saw straight away, you can see by the reaction of the players that he did use his hand. We saw it, and we couldn't believe the referee gave a goal, because we saw clearly that he actually scored with his hand. But as much as you say that, this is the second goal, so and this is a fantastic goal. How come,
the question still continues now till this day, how could he move? Anyway, you did the same against Brazil. So what's the logic? Since you know...
Well, you see Peter Reid there. There's Peter Reid chasing him. There's Terry Butcher. This is Terry Fenwick. Now, it's 100 degrees in Mexico, and Peter Reid being from the northwest of England, it was very, very hot. It was difficult for the English players. The heat was unbelievable. Terry Butcher, he went past Terry Butcher. The last one, Terry Fenwick, as you can see, the last player had been booked before, and if Terry Fenwick had not been booked, he would have brought down Maradona outside the box. It would have been a penalty. But if you go, if I don't know if you're going to see from just before he scored, Terry Fenwick was going to tackle him, and as he went past him, I'm convinced Terry Fenwick would have brought him down.
Then you came in. That is you moving now.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit slimmer there. This is when I was at Watford, and at Watford all I was told is to get crosses in. So when I came on, all I wanted to do was to get down the line and put crosses in, and that's what Bobby Robson said to me, and that was Gary Lineker scoring. And about 5 minutes later, there was another cross that came in, which would have been the equaliser. Gary Lineker came in and he almost scored, and the defender.
And Barry Davies was shouting, "Go, Russia them!"
I thought it was a goal when I put a cross in. Everybody thought it was a goal because it went in. The cross itself nearly went in. Gary Lineker is coming in just to head it in. He's about a yard off the goal line, and the defender did so well. The defender eased him out and got a header and put it out for a corner. But as much as you go back and look at those images, I have to say that that World Cup belonged to Diego Maradona. The second goal, you talk about the hand in God, but the second goal was fantastic, and the goal he scored against Belgium in the semi-final was also great. But I won't say single-handedly because Argentina were a good side, but for me, the best player in the world, and he showed it there in that World Cup.
From a lot of discussions with you, even when we're just leisurely talking, I'll ask you, I've always asked you this, I'm sure you know what the question is again. Diego Armando Maradona, Edson Arantes Nascimento, Pele, who is the best?
Well, you talk about George Best, Johan Cruyff, Puskas, Di Stefano. Maradona and Pele, for me, are above everybody else in the world. As to whether who's the best, it is debatable, but I wouldn't say one's better than the other.
Okay, I mean, we are back now. I want to throw something to you, which I'm sure you are going to find very interesting. At the World Cup, we take for granted some games. I was very young. I love Brazil. It's not just about the yellow jersey, but Zico, Otto, Antunes, Coimbra. I loved Brazil. Yes. Socrates Junior, yes. Falcao.
Yes.
And to us, they had already won the cup, but Italy didn't read the script.
Sometimes the balance is shifted when you meet a team that is purely tactical. They will stay on course. They will fight you till the very end. They will defend against you. Then they become very, very robust in tacklings and all. And at the end of the day, because psychologically, if they are stronger and well prepared, what will happen is that the balance will be shifted to favor them.
Only one person scored for the Rossi kept scoring.
Yes.
Rossi kept scoring, and as at that time, I hate him. Senegal versus France. I mean, we are talking about Senegal versus France at the 2002 World Cup opening game. Elash Diouf took on everybody from the left, cross, go, and 90% of the Senegalese team play in France.
Yes, the issue here is that the confidence that they derive from playing in France must have played a major role. Then the French team too, believing that because we won the World Cup and we were so big and we're so strong and we're sophisticated, that the jersey will play much more important role. And when they hear France, every other person will be dancing to their beg and call. And at the end of the day, they had the beg and call as well against Senegal when the goal came.
Sure. And Senegal justified it.
Yeah, they justified it.
They got so far to quarterfinals and everybody was like, what's happening here?
They're strong. That was the best that they could produce as at that time till this very day.
Nice to have you here today as always. I mean,
it's my pleasure, Kayode.
It's not every day to that one could present a program with a legend.
Yeah, you are more.
FIFA World Cup.
You are much more.
Somebody touched me with the hand he used to touch the World Cup. After this time out, a young man, Femi, is going to join us. He's going to be our man that deals with you. Is the interactive man. I mean, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You are going to get us there. As the program is going on, you can make requests. Okay, don't let me take up his job. He's going to have to come and say this. After this lovely, okay, which time should I give you? Is it just goals and goals and goals? I think the best one will be players knocking each other out, and the one that everybody do not want to see when it comes to the FIFA World Cup, the other side of the FIFA World Cup.
A fight isn't always necessary, of course. Sometimes a friendly trip can work just as well. Back in Santiago, the battle raged on. Farini was sent off after 7 minutes. It took a further 8 minutes for him to leave the pitch. Cameroon had a very simple tactic for progression to the quarter-finals in 1990. Stop Claudio Caniggia. And it's a tactic they employed with total dedication. Perhaps the most targeted Argentine, however, was Diego Maradona. With the amount of skill, balance and power he possessed, sometimes the only way to stop him was by fouling. In Santiago, things deteriorated. Italy's David was sent off for kicking Sanchez in the neck. Officials and reporters invaded the pitch in an attempt to stop the violence. Sometimes the most mild-mannered players can be responsible for some of the most cynical fouls. Brazil's Leonardo, not known as a violent man, was certainly guilty of one of the most dangerous moments of the 1994 World Cup. His elbow on Tab Ramos brought a deserved red card and more seriously fractured the American's skull. Violence remains a rarity in World Cups, but sometimes the will to win pushes normally rational players over the edge. Fights are usually confined to a little pushing and shoving. Sometimes, unfortunately, on the man trying to control the match. Be it blatant or sneaky, fights and fouls are part of the game and unlikely to disappear. It's a heated situation and sometimes temperatures can boil over. When they do, it's important that the laws of the game are enforced correctly. And who better to enforce the laws than the other men in black? The players in Santiago would probably still be fighting if Ken Aston hadn't blown his whistle. Amazingly, only 2 men were sent off, but the intimidation of the Italian team continued. The players were later attacked at their training camp. Oh, and by the way, Chile won the game 2-0.
Okay, nice to have you back. Femi Okegbenro is joining us now. He's a very young, handsome guy. He's going to be your mouthpiece, your relationship with this program, our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, everything. As the program is going on now, I mean, he's going to be engaging you every week on this show and telling you what you need to do to win our prizes. And we want to know those who are most knowledgeable about Nigerian sports. And he's going to be the one testing you. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you very much.
This is your debut with us, and I'm sure it's going to be you're going to be a first teamer.
On this segment, we'll be having the interactive session where you can tell us what you want to watch, videos you would like to see, throwbacks, and what exactly you want to watch on our show, the Moments to Russia show. Right now on our screen, we have the scrolls of our social media handle, Moments to Russia on Twitter. Facebook, we have Moments to Russia. Our Instagram is Moments to Russia 1. All brought to you by Peachtree Communications. On this segment, you're going to be winning gifts and very, very amazing things.
That was nice. So they know this is not just about us alone.
Oh yes, definitely.
It's about the fans. We want to know whether they follow their sports really, and I'm sure there's some questions you might want to ask them to start your week.
The first question we have today, it's a very, very tactical question, an easy question, the fastest finger. Please note that when you're answering the question, kindly use the hashtag Moments to Russia. Answers without the hashtag won't be valid. Who was the first player in the history of the World Cup to get a red card? I'll take that again. Who was the first player in the history of the World Cup to get a red card? For you to win, you have to include in your answer the hashtag Moments to Russia. Our second question today on the show: who was the first ever goalkeeper to be sent off during a match in the history of the FIFA World Cup? I'll go again. So who was the first goalkeeper ever to earn or get a red card? Fastest answer once again. The third question on our segment for today is, in the history of the FIFA World Cup, who was the first ever coach to be sent off during a game? I'll go again. The first ever coach to be sent off during a game.
Next week, you're going to tell us the winners for this
and
bring us other
next week. So we'll have 3 winners weekly.
Thank you, Femi. And that's the way we draw the curtains today. Trust me, I told you earlier, you saw some of it week in, week out. Of course, Unduka Ugbade is going to be here with us all the time. And of course, we're going to be bringing to you, like you saw today, almost all the major players of Nigeria that has played at the World Cup, especially the ones who scored goals, the ones who made real records and all. There's a lot of it which we're going to be bringing to you. We're going to be looking at the World Cup from 1930 in Uruguay till now, and we're going to be looking at Nigeria from 1994 till now. And we are also, don't forget that this is vital, we brought you Croatia today. What we're going to do next week is to bring you another team. We're going to be looking at group by group games, where they've met before and everything that has to do with the World Cup. Really, this is a definitive program on TV when it comes to this World Cup. Enjoy your time, and of course, don't forget, same time, same station next week. Bye. God bless.